Hi, it's Mr. Smith, and in this video I'm going to be going over our syllabus. And so let's get started. This is the home page as you come into our course, and you can get into the syllabus two ways. There's the syllabus button at the top, which will take you directly to the syllabus, but there's this syllabus and calendar link that I'm going to be asking you to go to, and you'll see that there's a link that discusses what a syllabus actually is. For those of you that maybe you're new to college, it's really just agreement between students and instructors to let them know, students know exactly what's expected in the course. You'll see a link to the syllabus here. I haven't put it in yet, and then of course the the, the video I'm making is going to be right here. So the introduction tells you everything you know to get started, and you'll end up here. All right, so let's go into the syllabus. And you can see, what is this here? I don't need that. Oh, sorry about that. Hold on a sec. Now I got to get out of here. Don't want that. There we go. Okay, so first of all, this is section 22403. That's what distinguishes this college algebra course from all the others. And college algebra is labeled MATH1314. I'd really like to move this. I don't know. There we go. Let's get that out of there. Okay. So contact information, you can see my name there, Scott Smith. Scott is with one T, and in fact my nickname is 1T. And you can call me 1T, you can call me Mr. Smith. That's probably what most people call me. Some people call me Scott or Mr. Scott. I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to my name, as long as it's not hey you. Email is scottsmith@dallascollege.edu. Notice Scott Smith is with no period in between and only one T. My office is J127. I'm sorry, I feel like I got a frog in my throat here. Phone number is 972-677-8940. So if you ever want to have a conversation, call me at my phone number. That phone number is specifically for students. And then otherwise, you may want to reach me using email. You can see my office there, hours there, Monday through Thursday, 8:15 to 9:15 a.m. and 12:30 to 1 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays. And let's see. There's some more information about our course. Of course, the college algebra part meets from 2 to 3:20 Tuesdays and Thursdays in room J106. You can look at our course description and the state-defined learning outcomes if you're interested in those. The Texas core objectives you should see in all of your courses. These are the kinds of things we want you to gain from going to our college, just as a result of being with us for a couple of years. We want to see improved critical thinking skills, communication skills, and so on. So you should be familiar with that. These are all really good things to work on if you want to make yourself more employable when you get out in the real world. Can't seem to get my throat right here. Required course materials. This is the book we use. And basically the book comes with my math lab or my lab math, which is what you're going to get when you sign up for your courses. This is through what we call the Include Ed program. Hopefully you didn't opt out. That's something we strongly discourage because honestly you're getting a great deal and there's really no benefit to opting out of the program. So basically MyLab Math is an online textbook based software and you're going to be completing your assignments online. Everything but the tests. So you're going to have access to a computer Hopefully you have one at home with good internet access. Excuse me. Because you're going to be doing a lot of assignments online and spending a lot of time online. So it's really important to have a good computer and good Wi-Fi. Um, and I think that's all I want to mention there. There is one thing though that you're going to need that's not covered, and that is a TI graphing calculator. Hopefully you or a friend or somebody in the family has one laying around. It's the TI-84. You can use a TI-83. The 84 is a little bit better, and that's what I'll be using. If you have some other calculator that you think is comparable, just show it to me and I can let you know if it's acceptable or not. The Learning Commons or library does check out TI-84 calculators, but unfortunately it's just for a couple of hours at a time. All right, let's go on and look at graded work. So you can see homework 16%, quizzes is 8%, your tests are 56%, so basically each test is worth 8% of your grade, 7 tests. And finally you have a 20% for the final exam. So in the homework, the nice thing about working in MyLab Math is you're always going to know if you're getting the right answers, and normally if you get a wrong answer, you can click on the help buttons and see a solution for how to solve the problem. That's not always true, but most of the time. So that's a good thing. On the other hand, a couple of issues. Number one, you got to be careful if you're clicking on the help buttons all the time and getting through the homework. Maybe you're even getting great homework scores. But sometimes students get a false sense of their abilities to do the problems. If you're clicking on help buttons all the time, that doesn't tell you that you can do the problem unless you're doing the problems without clicking on the help. I mean, normally I hope that you'll take good notes in class, and then you can use your notes as you're doing the problems to figure out how to do them. And then if you need extra help, you can click on those help buttons. But you want to make a note of that because that tells you need to go back and re-look at that type of problem. So just be careful with that. You should always be asking yourself, do I understand this? Could I do this if I didn't have any help buttons? The other thing is I really highly recommend that you're doing your work on paper. So write the problems down, show all your key steps. Not only does that help most people to learn, writing things out, even talking sometimes as you're writing things out can help in the learning process. But when it comes time to take a quiz or a test, you can go back and look at your homework notes and the problems. Maybe you made a note of some things that you want to ask questions about or spend a little bit more time with. But you can use those notes to prepare for quizzes or tests. And again, the goal is when you get to the quizzes and the tests is that you can do problems without looking at your notes. So look at your notes and then do the quiz or the test. All right, so on quizzes, notice I'm normally going to have 2 or 3 sections or sometimes 4, and you don't have all the help buttons when you take the quizzes. You get 2 chances or 2 attempts, and they are timed about normally 60 minutes. If you ever do it the second time and you're like, you're really not happy with your score and you'd like another attempt, just let me know and I can give you another attempt or 2, but normally I'm hoping you'll get it done in 1 or 2 attempts. Again, there's 7 tests. Notice that the tests are going to be taken in the Academic Testing Center outside of class time. We'll discuss this before the first test. There's some good reasons for doing it the way that I'm doing it. And the biggest is we just have so much to cover in class, and I tried giving tests previously in class, and we just didn't have enough time to cover everything we needed to do in class. But anyway, we'll talk more about that later. Again, I would remind you that if you get 80% or better on the homework, I'll replace your lowest test score with what you get on the final. Actually, that might be the first time I told you that. So 80% or better, like I say in the MyLab Math video, you can actually get 100% on every homework if you're willing to put the time in. But at least 80% or better is what I recommend. The final exam is 25 questions-ish. And let's see. I think, notice your DMAT grade is your grade after test 5. And then finally, you do have an opportunity for each test. We'll do a review in class, but if you want more practice and if you want to earn some bonus points, there's a review for each test in the first 5 tests in MyLab Math, and you can get points, up to 5 points, by completing those. So if you get a 90 to 100, you'll get 5 points, extra credit points on the test. All right, so the grade breakdown, 90 to 100 is A, and so on. That's pretty standard. Here's our course schedule. Notice all the sections we're doing in the first week. In fact, the first 2 weeks, you can see there's a lot there, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. For this reason, I really recommend that if you know this is going to be a difficult course for you, try to get started early on the assignments. There's all sorts of, you'll see this when you go to MyLab Math, there's all sorts of resources there included. I've done videos for every section, just like what we do in class. So you always have those videos that you can go back and look at if you miss class, or in this case, if you want to get an early start. Notice our first test is in week 3. And anyway, you'll always, I stick pretty close to the schedule. You always know exactly what's expected each week. Occasionally I'll make adjustments, but if I do, I'll announce those in class. Let's move on. So if there are any changes, I'll let you know in class, and normally I'll follow that up with an email in eCampus, an announcement in eCampus as well as an email. As far as being certified as attending the course, you have to attend class at least once the first 2 weeks and begin working on assignments in MyLab Math. This is and if you aren't certified and you're getting financial aid, that can be a real problem. I just want to say this is a really low bar. In order to be successful in this course, you'll notice we just looked at the schedule a minute ago, that those assignments for Chapter 1 and 2 are all due by February 2nd. And again, with an average of at least 80% or 70%, that's to be certified. No, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. That's to be on schedule. Again, 80% is what I recommend. For late work, the homework and quizzes should be completed by the due dates on our course schedule, and you'll also see these dates in MyLab Math. I cannot stress enough how important it is that you're getting all your assignments done on time. Your homework, your quizzes, and of course taking your tests on time. It's really a huge key to success in this course. You almost have to be stubborn about it. And I know it's not easy to do that the whole semester, but that's really step 1 if you want to be successful. But if you do an assignment late, it's 25% off up until we take our test. So test 1 covers Chapter 1 and 2. So after you take test 1, you can't go back and do assignments from Chapter 1 and 2. Same thing with the test reviews. You can't get bonus points if you're taking them after the test. Normally, if you miss the deadline for a test, you won't be able to take it. You'd take a 0. But if for some reason there's some special circumstances, you should contact me right away. Don't show up to the next class and just say, "Oh, I missed the test." That's not gonna that that's not gonna work. Support contacts, things like your success coach, free tutoring. There's some links there to the support that's available to you. The other thing is if you haven't read the institutional policies, you should look those over and make sure you're familiar with them. Things like student conduct, disabilities, dropping classes. All right, sorry I seem to be a little long here, but I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know.